And very good evening to our honorable guest speakers, the President of Turkish Student Society, IIUM, Hakkı Ipek, and student representative from Afghanistan, Mustafa Ghafoor. I'm Shasha Fuad, and it is my pleasure to be your host for today's Cultural Dialogue, the first series ever. On behalf of the organizing team, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for spending your evening with us, and I hope that we'll get fruitful insight from today's discussion. Brothers and sisters, as we're about to begin, I would like to seek your cooperation throughout the webinar in kindly keeping your microphones muted throughout the session to avoid any disruptions throughout the whole program. If you have any questions for the speakers, you may propose it to the speakers during the Q&A session after each sharing. Thank you so much for your kind cooperation and attention. So first of all, I'll be waiting for our prep tech team to put on our slides to display to you the timeline for our event today. Prep tech, would you please put on the slides if you do have it? So as you can see on the slide right here is the timeline for our cultural dialogue tonight. We'll begin with the sharing from the student representative from Turkey, Hakkı, and then we'll begin with a Q&A session. After the Q&A session, we'll begin with our second sharing session from Brother Mustafa, who will be talking about the cultural aspects in Afghanistan, as well as the current issues. And then there's another Q&A session. And as you can see over there, after we are done with our two of our sharings, we'll have a Kahoot session. So be sure to be attentive throughout this session because we have special prizes awaiting for those who are to remain attentive throughout the whole two sessions and, to win first place during the Kahoot quizzes, inshallah. And then we'll have a photography session and inshallah we'll end by 10:40, probably earlier, inshallah. So that is the timeline for our cultural dialogue series. And now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we will begin with the first sharing session of the day. So our first speaker is the president of the Turkish Student Society from IIUM, who is currently joining us from Turkey. So he will be sharing us about like the current issue that should be highlighted to raise awareness on what's happening in Turkey, as well as a bit on about Turkish culture. For those who don't know, Turkey is 5 hours behind Malaysia time. So Brother Hakkı will be joining us at 4 p.m. from Turkey. So without further ado, let us hear from Hakkı. Hakkı, the floor is yours.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Elhamdülillahi Rabbil Alemin. Assalamualaikum everyone. Hoş geldiniz. Selamat datang. Yes, I'm really glad to be here. And this is really nice tawafuk or coincidence, whatever you want to call, because today is a special day for Turkey. We are having our celebrations today and it's holiday because we are having announcement of Cumhuriyet, which is the establishment of Turkish national parliamentary in 1923. So this is a special day with a special topic. We are here and I am really happy about it. Okay, let me start. I put that ayah to the beginning of this speech because this ayah is directly looking into us. Because the ayah says, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا. The ayah says, we made you into nations and tribes that you may know each other. So we are here to know each other and reach one of the maqasid sharia. Yes, as you can see in the map, Turkish is a kind of a connection point of cultures and civilizations throughout the establishment of the world, because Turkey is between Europe and Asia and also connecting Africa. That position gives Turkey a special role throughout the centuries because this is the connection point and always hosting people, hosting nations, and the demography always changes. So like this, Turks, when Turks come to this place, like to Anatolia, let me start with it. Turks were actually a nation that is always migrating from here to there. So they migrated from Middle Asia to Turkey, this current place. This current place, we call it Anatolia. In Turkish, we call it Anadolu. Anadolu is a Roman word that we took because it's just the name of the place. And the Asian part of Turkey is called Anatolia. So I think we can move to the next slide. Okay, Turks became Muslims first time in a war between Muslims and Chinese in 750s. On that time, the China was trying to dominate the world and especially Muslim world, just like maybe today. And they had a war between Muslims on that day and Chinese. And Turkish was in the middle of this war. So they had a choice to join whether Chinese or Muslims. And then they accepted to join the Muslims and they took side on the Muslims, although they were not Muslim. Since then, their interaction with the Islam started and get bigger and bigger until today. Yes. So since then, we become to Muslims, and we are actually there. The Turkish are hosted. They established a lot of governments, a lot of countries, and the number is until today we count 16 countries. 16 countries throughout the centuries we established, and it collapsed like Ottoman and before Ottoman Seljuks and many others that you can count and see. So Turkish, they actually interacted and lived together with many nations with different cultures and beliefs, speaking different languages, live under the same flag within the boundaries of love and respect within the framework of great tolerance. And that tolerance gave birth of Ottoman Empire 600 years ago. Because we had a tolerance. That tolerance unites us. That tolerance make us stronger against our enemies. So for example, I just put this picture. It's the Hagia Sophia. We call it Hagia Sophia. In English, Hagia Sophia. I don't know how to pronounce in English. So this masjid opened after 100 years in last year. It's just opened last year and we are able to pray here. Hagia Sophia is the gift of Muhammad al-Fatih to all Muslims. And it is one of the signs that we are stronger against Christians because we have your biggest church, because the Hagia Sophia was the biggest and the most important church of its time. But when Muhammad al-Fatih conquered it, so we just dominate and we become better and bigger than Christians. So yeah, we can move to the next slide. Okay, general social structure of Turkey. Turkey is a country which stands in a very unique geographic position between the continents of Asia and Europe, just as I said. And that position gives a unique role as well. So within that position, Turkey hosted dozens of civilizations in Anatolia since the existence of the world. When you come to visit to Turkey, inshallah, one day, we have a lot of heritage, not just the heritage of Ottoman Empire, not just the heritage of Roman Empire, but in the Dark Ages, we have the heritage of Dark Ages that comes until today, and we still keep them and try to protect them. And also these heritage, like for example, in my hometown, we have one place. In that place, there was like Hittitians or Phrygians. They are the old ages people used to establish a government, a country in that place. So we can find and see the heritage of them, the buildings of them, or the plates, or anything that used on their times. So in this picture, for example, you can see whatever the famous in each city of Turkey. in Turkey we have we have kind of like unique and like in wherever you go, for example, Sparta, Afyon, Antalya, Izmir, these are the cities in Turkey. Wherever you go, you will find something original. You will find something that you didn't see in anywhere else in Turkey. So this is the one of the heritage of this culture that what they call heritage. So this position, as I was talking, as a result of this, Turkey contains variety of cultures from many different nations. So yes, we can move to next slide. Okay. Before we start this one, actually in Turkey there is not only Turkish people. We have Kurdish people, we have Laz people, we have some Arab people as well, we have Zaza people, and we have many other nations. We have Bosnians, we have people from Balkania, they live with us. So we are kind of hosting many different nations, many different peoples under same flag. Although it's Turkey is not all about Turks. We have this kind of variety. So let's talk about Turkish people. When like if someone asks me like what is the thing that you can describe a Turk or Turkish, I would say interactive. Turks are always interactive. Maybe you realize this when you want to buy an ice cream in Turkey, they will play with the ice cream, isn't it? Because we love to interact, we love to be friendly with whoever with us. So whoever we see, even if we don't know them, this is one of the things that I feel like others don't have, other nations don't have much, like interaction. For example, if you are being a neighbor to someone, if you come first time to your house, like you are just moving to newly, if that person is not really afraid, he will just come you and give you one gift of the food that she cooked for her dinner, or she will feel like she or he, whatever, will feel like have like tendency to talk with you easily, like waiting you to start the conversation when you are passing the passing his door. So like this we are always, and they are really and mostly positive and interactive and friendly people. I can just say that about Turkish people. And another thing we have in our daily practice, and I feel like in other cultures I couldn't see because I have been in few countries and I observe. So one the thing we have is like small talk. We have small talk for each moment in our life, and we have like, for example, if you are eating your dinner or whatever, if you are eating, we will say like afiyet olsun, bon appetit. Or if it is evening and you come across to someone, you will say iyi akşamlar, good evening. Or if someone cook for you, and as a thanks, we don't say thank you, we say eline sağlık, which means health to your hands. May Allah give health to your hands so I can eat your food longer. So, for example, if someone died, we don't say I'm sorry for your loss, but we say başınız sağ olsun. So we have that kind of thing, and many other words that I just put here. For example, if you come across a lecture, we say iyi dersler, have a nice lecture. So this is another thing. So in Turkey, for example, Turkish people mostly, they live like this. Wife usually doesn't work, and the one who works is mostly the man. If they are not living in mega cities like Istanbul, Ankara, Izmir, if they don't live these cities, mostly if they live in other small cities, wife doesn't work. Our wife doesn't like to work. No, it's not like that, but how to say, mostly man works and the wife is doing the housework, taking care of the kids, just like that, this kind of things. Someone say no, she's teasing me, she knows me. Yeah, Turkish people are like that. I mean, the husband always works, the wife doesn't work, and just like that, and taking care of the house and so on. You can see in the picture, if you are married and having some difficulties, don't worry, if your wife is beside you, she can give balance to your life. Okay, we can move to the next slide. Okay, main dishes of Turks. I can say that what nasi is to the Malays, bread is to the Turks. In that picture, for example, you can see Mesut Özil is kissing at the red thrown by his oppositions to his head or whatever, and he just take the bread from the ground and kiss it and put it to head and puts it to a corner that no one can step on it, because we believe that bread is something holy. Bread is something that a gift of Allah to us, and that's why we should protect this bread and we shouldn't step on it. We should be careful with bread. We cannot throw a bread, something like that, because main dishes is bread. Besides, we care about our food. So, but this practice, kissing a bread, is not the practice of Turks, but it is the practice of Sumerians. If you look back at the history, there was like the what they call the first nation who invented writing. Like they invent how to write for the first time in the world. So they are the Sumerians, and the bread is treated same as this in their culture as well. And in their culture, you can also see the similar words with ours, with Turkish language. So yes, and when it comes to Turkish dishes, you can experience the mixture of world cousins in Turkey. Why I say that? Because we are affected by French, we are affected by Greeks, we are affected by Iranians, we are affected by Arabs, but of course we also affected them, we also influenced them. So when you eat some food, there is always a taste of another nations as well. So it's not just one Turkish, but it's also other nations' contribution also exists. But of course, we also give something new to them, to their life. So in terms of food and language and culture as well, Turkey influenced his surroundings and influenced by its surroundings as well. So yes, that's why I feel like Ottoman Empire played a big role, because we were kind of being influenced, and as well as influencing, that give us a role in the history. And yeah. And another thing I want to mention is, in the beginning, I supposed to mention when the Turks become Muslims first time. When Turks become Muslims first time, we were a nation that is always ready for war. Like even now, we are always ready for war because of our location. So when Turks become Muslims first time, we actually carry the weapon of Islam. We carry the flag of Islam to Europe by war, by fighting against our enemies. So this is one of the role of Turks in the history that played a big role, because Allah, and praise to be Allah, alhamdulillah, this is I feel like a grant of Allah to us, serving our armies for Islam. This is something so unique, and I'm really proud of it. Alhamdulillah, this is a gift of Allah. So in terms of dishes like that, I don't know which slide is it. Okay, we can move to next slide. Yes. In that picture, on the left, on the right, below, and whatever, you can see 4 kind of foods here. Actually, each food belongs to one area, one location. That's why I put like this 4 pictures inside. So, but you can find four pictures. Inside the 4 pictures, there are many different kind of foods. For example, on the left up, you can see fish. These fishes actually exist in our northern side. Northern Turkey mostly eats fishes because they are neighbor to sea. and they can just cook many kinds of fish foods, maybe different than Malaysia. When I came to Malaysia, actually, I couldn't eat the same fish as I eat in Turkey. Even the fish varies, even the fish different. So, for example, in the right side, there is kind of kebabs, Iskender, and köfte, we call it, and pide. These things are also belongs to another part of Turkey, and all of them are different foods as well. For example, if you come to right and below, there is another kind of foods. These foods, for example, belongs to Middle Anatolia, Middle Turkey. Yeah, just like that. For example, in the middle and the Eastern Turkey, you can see foods are much related with beef, always related with beef. Like whatever you eat, there is something beef. And those people who stay in Eastern Turkey, if there's no beef in the food, they will feel weird. Like they will not be like satisfied much because they are taking care of animals, they are farmers and so on. So they always like to eat fish. But in the Eastern Turkey, you can see foods with vegetables, mostly vegetables like eggplant, potato, and many more. I don't know the names. So like olive oil, like everything, whatever they do, there's some vegetables in the food because they are kind of close with vegetables. So this is another thing in Turkey that we have, alhamdulillah. So if you come to Turkey, if you go to Eastern Turkey, don't expect to eat a very delicious beef because you are not in Eastern, you are not in West East Turkey. In East Turkey, you can eat very delicious beef. So keep this in mind if you come, inshallah. That's all about this one. We can move to the next slide. Okay. Things that worth mentioning, I just not here like that because I don't, I might not remember when I'm giving this speech. For example, in Turkey, we have 4 seasons. Like we are having 4 seasons: winter, autumn, summer, and spring. So this is another thing that we have different than some other parts of the world. Yeah. And also the Turkey, like if you go to East Turkey is mostly cold, especially Northeast Turkey is very cold. It's near to Russia, Siberia. And if you come to and West and South Turkey, you will see the sea and the area is so hot. So like that, this kind of things about the winter. So if you come now to Turkey, you have to bring your coat and thick clothes. So now Turkey, current thing, Turkey is hosting like 3 million refugees, but 2 million is unofficial, 3 million is official one. So we have 5 millions of refugees we are hosting since 10 years. And also in Turkey, we have in southeast Turkey, I think, southwest Turkey, southwest Turkey, we have a lot of prophet kubur, graveyard of prophets we have, and some graveyard of Sahabi we have. Yeah. Someone is asking Beşiktaş or Galatasaray, which one is better? For me, Galatasaray is better. I am I am Galatasaray. Yeah, I'm from Galatasaray team. And also like about this one, like the Prophet and Sahabi Makbar. So these Sahabi, for example, they play a really big role in Islamizing Anatolia, in Islamizing Turkey. So yeah. What else? Turkey has 4 seasons, and also every corner of it has different weather than each other. For example, if you go now to east south Turkey, this place is hot. Even now it's hot, although it's winter. But if you go to northwestern Turkey, it is cold like this. And also about conflicts, we always have complex politics, and everyone can talk about politics in Turkey, like as if he or she, that person is like a politician. We always like to discuss about politics. So you can see like people are always discussing about politics. Yeah, this is something new as well, because not much people are talking in other countries. People don't talk much about politics, but in Turkey we always talk about politics, and it is so complex, and it is always changing and dynamic. Yeah. And also another thing worth mentioning, we have a heavy history of secularism, but still strong in faith, alhamdulillah. Since Turkish Republic established, our people actually kind of changed the direction from Islam towards secularism, unfortunately. And since like about 100 years, we are experiencing this thing, like secularism. If you come to Turkey, you will see many people, although all of them are Muslims, they are open hair or smoking or alcohol. Unfortunately, these kind of things we have. But we are a person who comes to Turkey and feel like, oh, Ottoman Empire, they were the grandsons of Ottoman Empire, but now they are doing this. So I don't think we should blame them that way, but we should feel like this is actually what their destiny kind of, because there are many things that influence this situation because of the system that put on us. So it's normal to be like that, but we are really hopeful, and we believe that Islam in Turkey is getting stronger and stronger. Alhamdulillah. So yes, can I ask how many minutes left?
I think you have around roughly 5 minutes left.
Okay, 5 minutes left. Can we go to the beginning of the slides? Yeah, I see. Jumpa lagi. We can just move to the beginning of slides. Because I want to see and revise. Yeah, this one. Can you go to the next slide? Next one again. I think you missed one of them. I'm sorry. Can you move again to the next one? There was one woman. That one, yes. I want to talk about like the practice of Turkish, like their life. Mostly Turkey is a place where is very appropriate for agriculture. We have really huge agricultural fields that our people always do farming and use it. So in Turkey, mostly like we have many villages and so on. So our people actually doing farm great. Our people are good at agriculture, and this is one thing that I like, because not much people, not all Muslim world have this kind of agricultural fields. So we should increase our trades in terms of this. So yeah, instead of buying from non-Muslims, we can prefer Turkish farming agricultural products. And yeah, as a summary, I can say that Turkish people are really interactive. They are really friendly. And if you are a foreigner and come to Turkey, and if you speak in your language and someone heard that, that person will try to interact with you. He will try to talk with you because he is interested in you, because you are different. We are always interested in different things, like, in terms of culture and people. So we like differences. That's why in Turkey we can live in security, although we have many different things inside our country, like different nation, different kind of peoples. So yeah, this is something beautiful, I think. And I forgot to mention, Turkish people are actually, they are really hospitable and generous to their guests, especially in Eastern in Eastern Turkey, they really like to host guests. If you are a foreigner or if you just come and if you lost your way or if you are out of money, you can just go to a door and knock the door in Eastern Turkey. I'm talking about. Just knock the door and ask that you lost your way or you lost your money or you are looking for a place to stay for one night. They will welcome you. They will just accept you without knowing who you are actually, and you will have a great night, great day together with them. So yeah, this is another thing. I think that's all for me, but I just want to add that Turkey and Afghanistan, they have really nice historical ties since the establishment of Afghanistan and Turkey. And when Turkey is established, the president of Afghanistan 100 years ago or 90 years ago, I think, he visited Atatürk, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, and visited our country, and they make some discussions and so on. Why I am talking about this, because the next speaker is from Afghanistan, so we have really deep relations with them as well. Okay, I think that's all for me. Görüşürüz. Jumpa lagi. So yeah.
All right, so that was the sharing from Brother Hakkı just now. If I'm not mistaken, the way for you to say thank you in Turkish is teşekkür ederim. Is that right, Hakkı?
Yes, true.
Right.
Teşekkür ederim.
Teşekkür ederim for the wonderful sharing, Brother Hakkı. So let's move on to the Q&A session. Now, I'm sure most of you here are not Turkish, you don't live in Turkey, but you want to know more about the life in Turkey itself. And so here's a chance to ask any of the questions in relation to Turkey or in relation to the sharings earlier. So if you have any questions for Hakkı, you may put your name and the question in the chat box, and then I'll read it out for you. Or if you wish to speak out, then you can simply just raise your hand and unmute your mic when our team calls out your name. So is there any questions for Hakkı so far? All right, I think, okay, so let's see. We have a lot of questions over here. Okay, so let's pick the first question. From Inas Dalili. So Hakkı, Inas asked, if you were to recommend places in Turkey for us to visit, what will you or where will you recommend the most? Like, let's give it a top 3 places in Turkey. Which places would you recommend for us to visit?
Yes, which places to recommend? Actually, one of the kind of mistake that I see, like people just come to Istanbul and just stay here. I mean, don't do this. Don't just remain in Istanbul, and you should go to another place. So what can it be? What can these places be? Okay, I think the most popular one is Cappadocia. It is in Nevşehir, and there are kind of caves and the geographical kind of things. You should go to Cappadocia, and it is very famous. And I want to suggest as well, like Nemrut. It is this Nemrut is the one who kind of like with Ibrahim, Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. He was the enemy of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. This is the place he lived, Nemrut. You should go there. And what else? Like it is in Eastern Turkey. And where to go as well? Like I wasn't prepared for this, but I was just thinking. You should go to Pamukkale in the city of Denizli. Pamukkale has we call it in Turkish Trabentens. It's a kind of healthy, healing, and natural water. But the place is like white rocks. In everywhere there is white rocks, as if you are in paradise. So this is something as well. And you should go to, if you are coming from a cold country, like Germans and Russians, they always like to go to sea. In terms of sea, you should go to Muğla and Bodrum, these cities. And if you like to eat food, if you want to enjoy food in Turkey, you should go to Gaziantep, Şanlıurfa, and yeah, this kind of places. And if you want to see snow, you should go to Erzurum. I think these things I can suggest.
All right, that's awesome. Okay, so I hope that you guys would take note on that. Like Istanbul's not the only place for you to visit in Turkey, obviously. All right, and Cappadocia. I think I recall having Cappadocia as one of the places that I have in my travel wish list. So let's hope that I'll be able to go there someday, inshallah. Next question that we have from Najia. Okay, so Najia is asking whether there are any popular do's and don'ts in Turkey, which I think is very important considering that something that may be very common to us is quite uncommon among the Turks there. So is there any popular do's and don'ts that we could take note for in the future, Hakkı?
Yes. Let me think about it. Like, what can it be? Yes, I want to say, I am sorry if it sounds weird, but in Turkey, I realized like when I go to abroad, like Sudan, Malaysia, Indonesia, I travel, I realized that one of the things that you shouldn't do in Turkey is like, how to say, burping. I am sorry for saying that, but Turks don't like it, you know. We even like when we are together with friends or whatever, we feel like disgusting if someone burps, if someone do it in front of us. So this is one of the things you shouldn't do. And another thing is like I would say like if you are in crowded place, you should not eat with your hands. You should eat with fork and spoon. This is another thing. Using fork and spoon. We use this. I mean, it's in our culture. And another thing, like if someone invites you, you should just accept the invitation. I mean, if the person knows you and you know him, I mean, you shouldn't reject the invitation. That person will be so happy if you can join. And about this is about something to do. So what else? What else? In Turkey, and also like, for example, I am thinking something more like not deeper. How to say? If your relative, for example, is having a sickness, let's say, you should call him and say geçmiş olsun, get well soon. I mean, if the sickness is the heavy one, and if you don't call, if you don't inform, he will feel kind of offended, maybe like he doesn't care about me, something like that. I mean, in terms of between relatives, I am talking. And also like if you are getting engaged or if you are getting married, you have to invite or you have to let your own family members or like relatives, I mean, you should just inform them. I mean, you should invite them to the engagement ceremony or whatever ceremony. If you don't, it is gonna be like kind of segregation among them, like, oh, he doesn't want me to come, something like that. This is also something else. I think that's enough. Let's give time for other questions.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's see if we have any final question. Okay, so this is an interesting question. Could you tell us briefly about what is your, or probably like the general opinion of the Turks towards Mustafa Kemal Atatürk? That will be the final question of the day.
If you ask my personal opinion, and I don't know, to my opinion or other, generally in Turkey, people love Mustafa Kemal and respect him a lot. Yes, and they feel like if Mustafa Kemal didn't exist, we wouldn't be able to establish Turkish Republic. Something like that. They have, and if you visit to Turkey, you will see everywhere Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, like in Turkish we call it heykel, in English statues. Like you can see everywhere. Like if you go to like, I mean, not everywhere. I mean, if you go to any official place. Like, for example, if you go to a school, if you go to a university, you will see the statues of Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. So this is because of the respect. But respect doesn't happen by building a status. So to me, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, yes, he do some contributions, and he do many contributions, and he do great things. We are agreed with that. But as a Muslim, to me, this is different. Okay, although he established my country, we have to be like careful, because we are Muslims, and Islam cannot be separated from government, from countries' national affairs. So this is the thing for me, letting Quranic alphabet, for example, change with Latin alphabet. So these are the works that Mustafa Kemal Atatürk does. And we Turks were using Quranic alphabets since 1,000 years, and he just changed it in a night. That since then we start using Latin alphabet. This is kind of intentional action that he do to cut our connection between Islam, Muslims, Quran, and make us get closer to Western world, which also didn't work, didn't go well. We couldn't do it. So he is a father of secularism, and as a Muslim, we shouldn't be doing secularism. That's my opinion. And also his works on that didn't really work. Like, I mean, today we are not in European Union, and so on, many other things. So I don't really favor him, but I respect whoever respect to him.
All right. Okay. So that's a very interesting opinion from Hakkı. I have more interesting questions, but we're currently running out of time. So if you have any other questions, I think that the committees can direct you to Hakkı's personal contacts, so that you can email him or DM him to answer your curiosities. All right. Thank you so much, Hakkı, once again for the sharing session. I hope that you guys took note of his sharing, because it is important for our Kahoot session later on. Okay. So now let us move on to our second session. Okay, so our second session now is it's going to be a sharing by our second speaker, a final year political science student IIUM, who's also an Afghan brother, Mustafa. So I know Mustafa personally as well. I've worked alongside with him currently as well. And he is currently residing in Malaysia, but for those who are still curious, Afghanistan is around 3.5 hours behind Malaysia. So without further ado, Mustafa, the floor is yours.
Assalamualaikum everyone, and good evening and good afternoon to brother in Turkey. Am I audible?
Yes.
All right, thank you, Shasha, for welcoming. And I think brother as mentioned about the culture of Turkey, it was really interesting. And as he said, we're bounded somehow. There was some noises.
That was just a technical difficulty. You cannot control it. It's online anyway. Proceed, Mustafa.
Okay, all right. Am I clear?
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you are. See glitches in the presentation. Do you? Or is it just me?
I think I do see a bit of a glitch as well. Okay, let's see. Our prep tech is currently fixing it. So in the meantime, while we wait for our prep tech team to settle the inconvenience, how are you, Mustafa? How's everything? I see that you are in campus. I can see that's a very familiar room over there.
Yeah, it's a Wadi Budi office, and it's a meeting room. And we had another meeting before that, another program, which alhamdulillah, it was a great one. However, just wanted to say about the brother when he said that our culture is really bounded, Turkey and Afghanistan, and which is really true. And he also mentioned about the history, which Turkish people were from Central Asia. They moved. We still have Turkmen in Afghanistan. It's a very diverse ethnic group, which I will talk about it later on. I don't want to make it like a history, talk here,
history
but
class, of
yeah,
course
history
not.
class, but but it's so true. We have even similar words like yanga, which means sister-in-law, and Turkish people use that as well, and many other words which I don't remember right at the moment. We share a lot of culture, which later you will see in my presentation. So let's start with next slide, please. Next slide. Yep. Okay. Okay. Afghanistan's geography, just briefly, the reason I want to talk about this is because people make mistake of the location of Afghanistan. They think it's a Middle East country, but in reality, it's not. It's a central. It's a Central Asia country, and it's located. It's surrounded by land. And can you guys see this slide actually? Because I see glitches in it.
Yes, I can. Like the glitches just don't. I mean, the glitches don't necessarily cover the important parts. So I think you can just proceed. It's temporary.
Okay, so yeah, next slide, please. That's Afghanistan surrounded by land, and it has 6 neighboring countries: Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and China also, as well as Pakistan in the south. So Afghanistan is a mountain country. It's a very mountain area, and it has the biggest mountain in Pamir, which is in north near border with China, and another one which is Hindu Kush, it's went across to Pakistan as well. And the climate of Afghanistan is cold winter and hot summer, dry summer. But the surprising part in here is that Afghanistan, it's in terms of climate also it's diverse. Like every part of it has different climate. And there is a city, there is a province called Jalalabad, which is in the south, if I'm not mistaken. It is similar to the weather of here, Malaysia. It's green most of the time. It's green and it's rainy, and it's 35 Celsius degree like that. And then we have other places like it's usually cold in north. It goes to -20, and they only have like 2 months of spring, not even summer. So that's another mystery about the Afghanistan. It has different climate in different parts of it. But next slide, please. But as you can see, we have 4 seasons. It's a 4-season country, just like Turkey. And we have 40 million population. Kabul is the capital city, and 34 provinces or states. So next slide. In terms of language, it's diverse, and we have different languages. But the national language is true language, Persian and Pashto, and mostly people speak Persian, especially in capital. And we have Pashto, Uzbek, Turkmen, Turkish language, Nuristani, Baluchi, and Pashto. And mostly Afghans, especially in capital, speak Persian, like I said. But it's not just Afghanistan. There are neighboring countries like Tajikistan and Iran. They're also speaking the same language. Only the accent is different, just like Indonesia and Malaysia. But we are using the same language. Next slide, please. Religion, of course. Approximately 99% of the population are Muslims. There are very small communities of other faiths like Sikh, Hindus, and Christian, but mostly it's Muslims. So next, and Hanafi, just like Turkey. Afghan's ethnic groups is very diverse, like I say. So we have Pashtun, Tajik, Hazara, Uzbek, and Turkmen, Baluch, Nuristani, Pashto. When it comes to about the majority is Tajik and Pashtun, but again, this is a very old statistic. Don't worry about the numbers. Also, the majority are Tajiks and Pashtun, and there is no like one majority of like Pashtun or Tajik. It's like almost close to each other. Next slide, please. Our brother mentioned about Turkey, about the hospitality, and actually he said maybe it's not in other parts of the world, but Afghans are famous for that. Afghans are very friendly and hospitable, and it's something culturally, not just because of Islam that we have to be hospitable, but culturally Afghans are hospitable, and especially in North Afghanistan, they're known as Kataran Zamin and Shamali people. As you can even see in the picture, there's an old Afghan man who is offering tea. The least that they would do to you is they would offer you tea, green tea. And in the other picture, you can see there are outsiders, visitors, I assume. They are having lunch with an Afghan family. And it also reminds me of my childhood when my brother was working with Americans and South Korean people in embassy and stuff. And they were coming to our house and we were welcoming them. They were like part of our family, and even still they're in contact with us. That's about Afghans, that were very hospitable, and without even knowing you, would welcome you to our house, and they would insist you to stay, having lunch, and then they would still insist you to have dinner, and they would ask you to come again. So that's about the hospitality of our people, which is really lovely. Next slide. So you might not believe me, and because you just brought us about Turkey, and then now I'm saying about Afghanistan hospitality, you might think I'm being biased, but okay, just next slide. Let's see. I came with the proof. So as you can see here, we have this Jew. He's a traveler. He just completed 197, the last country, Saudi Arabia. But it was his first time went to Afghanistan and visited Afghanistan for the first time 2 years ago. But again, he visited just last year for the second time during the COVID-19 time. And then he was going to a village, and the Afghan family asked him to join to get into their house. And then he said to him, tell him I've been to 163 countries, and I find Afghani people to be some of the warmest and most hospitable in the world. And in American culture, it's not common that we let the random people to get into our house. But what I love so much about this culture is that even if you don't know them, they would let you in. So yeah, and that's true. So you hear it from them, I told you. Next, please, next slide. This is the really toughest part for me, and even when I was making the slides, it made me so hungry because I find this really hard even talking about it. I don't even have to explain, because you can just see the pictures of the food. We're on #1 in it. Next slide, I just put some of the top dishes of Afghanistan, famous dishes, and my favorite. Next slide. Okay, #1, we have Pabli Palau. This is, Afghans are famous for this, like all over the world. When you hear about Pabli Palau, it's Afghans. And it's a tasty rice dish and contain a variety of vegetables, including carrots, and then we have lamb. And it's just so great, you would eat your fingers, definitely. You must try it. I mean, Afghanistan is a very beautiful country, but that wouldn't be the only reason you have to visit it. Another thing is foods. Like, we're really good at it. Next slide, please. All right, #2, we have ashak. It's a traditional dumpling dish from Kabul, the capital. And it's also one of my favorites. And toppings, they put the beef, or sometimes they put the bean, or they put the corns, as you can see. And inside is vegetables. Usually it's vegetables. There is another one that we call it, we also have kofta, like brother mentioned, like Turkish. We also have mantu, which that one inside is beef or lamb, but this one is vegetables inside. The vegetables, and topping of it is just beef. Oh, my mouth is watering. Next slide, please. All right, bulan is a stuffed vegetarian flatbread. It's also one of my favorites, and this is really tasty. They cook it in different ways, so baking or frying, but they also have different types of it, like potatoes, or mix of veg and potato, which is my favorite, the mixed one, or they only have the veg one. As you can see in the right picture, it's just vegetables. And they would eat it with yogurt and some sauces that you can see, and spicy sauces. Next slide, please. It's so hard to talk about these foods. All right, #4, we have Afghani lamb kebab. The moment you talk about, when I mention about kebab, what comes to your mind is Turkish kebab, right? But we do have it as well. And Afghan kebab is different. You definitely have to try it. We have different types of it. We have the lamb one, we have from the goat. It's so we have different types of the kebab, and it's really tasty. That's how they do it. It's slow cooked, and then we eat it with bread. And like he said, Malaysia is rice, and rice is everything with bread. Next, please. All right, it's Afghani jalebi. It's a crispy sweet dessert dish, and Afghan people, they eat it also in breakfast or usually just like a snack before dinner, around after lunch with tea, green tea, or in breakfast with bread again, and it's really really tasty. You might think of India, but I tell you what, Afghanistan has it, and I think well, the Indian also do, but Afghans does the best one. And if you don't believe me, just go to next slide. Again, when I say something I want to, as a political science student, I think I have to come up with the proof. So if you don't believe me, just keep watching. Next slide. Okay, here's a Bollywood famous movie song, famous actress, and it's in this movie, and it's about Afghani jalebi. It's you can go and listen to it later on, and you would see how they connect that, as it's one of the tasty snacks or dessert of Afghanistan. Next slide, please. All right, now it's Afghanistan national drinks. Most commonly is chai. Chai is Afghanistan's most common green tea. We also have black tea, but we usually, or red tea, but we usually drink green tea, and every time in the morning, lunch, evening, like usually it's just tea. And the another one, as you can see, the white one is it's called dogh, which is yogurt flavored with rose water and salt. The way that they make it is they put the yogurt inside a special thing that they have. Then they keep shaking that for hours, and it will become like that. And then they will mix it with cucumber or and salt and stuff. It's non-alcoholic, but trust me, if you drink too much of this, if you go there, please don't drink too much, because it's gonna make you sleepy and you will fall asleep. And those people that they can't sleep, they definitely have to try this because of the calcium, I guess. It makes people sleepy, but it's not alcoholic. Next slide, please. All right, like I said, Afghani food is #1 in the world. It's no cap, just trust me, Afghani foods is #1. You might think I'm biased, but I'm telling you the truth. Just go next slide, please. I know you still don't believe me, okay? You still don't believe me, and you think I'm just being biased, but just keep watching, please, because I don't go without any proof. Next slide, please. You must know who is Habib. He's a UFC champion. See what he's saying about Afghani foods. Please play the video.
Crazy food, brother. Afghan food is #1 food, brother, in the world. But don't say nobody. No Uzbek people, no Azerbaijan people, no Kazakh, nobody. I don't want nobody, like, no. Afghan food.
Here, let me show you the photos from the other night.
This is crazy, bro.
All right. So as you can see, I also praise it if you didn't understand what he said. So you just heard it. Next slide.
Crazy.
Okay, so the festivals, we have different festivals, but I would say the most famous one is Eid and Eid al-Qurban and Nowruz. Nowruz is something that you might not have heard of. But before that, Eid and Hari Raya, is the difference is that we celebrate it for 3 days in Afghanistan. We have similarity with Malaysian. We also cook a lot of different types of food, but we also have dry foods, same like Malaysia. But only the difference is that we celebrate it for 3 days, but in Malaysia for a week, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. And we also visit our relatives. First, we start by close family members, and then to relatives and stuff. We keep going to their houses. Next slide. Well, that's me and my niece. It's 2 years ago. As you can see, that was Eid celebration in Afghanistan, and that's what we do. We go to relatives and visit, and those are the dry foods. As you can see, we have special dry foods, and definitely the tea is right there. That's how we celebrate the Eid. All right, next slide. Eid al-Qurban is just the first day. It's also 3 days. We celebrate it for 3 days, and usually the animals is sheep and cow. The Afghans get for sacrificing, and that's it. We do it in first day, and then we invite it to distribute it among the into 3 years, just like similar to other parts of the world. So yeah, next. Well, Nowruz is also known as Persian New Year. It's taken from the Islamic calendar of Shamsi, which is from the sun, unlike Arab world or Middle East, that they are taking from Qamar, which is the moon. We take from the Shams, the time that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he migrated from Mecca to Medina, and that's the year we start counting from that. And we celebrate that every year as a new year for 3. It's not just Afghanistan. Tajikistan also celebrated. Iran celebrated a very intense way, like very extreme one, like that. For 15 days, they celebrated way more polished than the Eid for 15 days. But Afghanistan only 3, actually it's 2 days, but the third day is for farmers, where farmers bring their products, and there will be an opening show. They would show their products, and they come from the villages, so they bring their products. There will be a festival for it. Is there anything wrong? Am I audible? Hello?
Yeah, you're perfectly fine.
All right. And next slide, please. So that's how we celebrated it.
In case you guys are almost tired, like at least you can yawn with your mics muted. Okay, go on, Mustafa.
All right, so we have Afghani Nowruz special dishes. One is called half mewa. Please stay with me. We have my slides. There will be like other interesting thing you would see. I don't think you would get exhausted after watching this later on. Just back to the slide where I was talking about the half mewa. Previous, yes. So half mewa is a 7 fruits, dry fruits. It's just not. It doesn't have to be 7 fruits, but it's called 7 fruits. Dry fruits, they put it into the water and they leave it overnight. And then the next day, they drink the water would be sweet, and also the fruits is really tasty. It's a special one just for Nowruz, for the new year. Next slide. Here we have samanite. This is another special dish for the Nowruz, for the new year. So as you can see, the first picture, that's how it looks, the plant itself, and then that's the roots of it, which is wheat, and they put it into a big pan, the woman, and then overnight they keep just moving it with a stake, and then they also have a special song for Samanak with the drum playing, and they will keep singing. It's very nice. It's really nice, actually, when they keep singing and overnight they do it. And then it turned to the last one, as you can see down there, it turns to that, and it's a type of dessert. It's sweet. Next, please. All right, Afghani traditional clothes. These are the type of clothes, as you can see, colorful of the woman clothes, and it represents different parts of Afghanistan, but that's the traditional woman clothes. Next slide, please. This is another type. As you can see down there, that's North Afghanistan, and they have that type of clothes. And up there, you can see also it represents North and South. The one which is in the right with the little girl, it represents also South and North Afghanistan with different colors and designs. It's really beautiful. Next slide, please. Then we have the main schools, traditional. The number one, as you can see, it's represent North Afghanistan, and the number two is South. Number three is again North Afghanistan, because of when you see those winter type is North, because it's cold in North. And fourth as well, and fifth one in the guy from the left, it represents from the South. And these are the main schools. Go next slide, please. Okay, we have Afghan traditional sport. We have the all type of sports, like famous ones like football and cricket. Recently, also they won in cricket against Scotland, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, Afghanistan traditional sport, the buskashi, is good bowling. So you might not heard of this. This is a traditional Afghan sport, but now they standardize it with rules, ground rules. So what they do, there is a two teams with hosts. They take the goat, and whoever take the goat and put it into that circle, they will score goal. And it's usually played before the New Year, before the Nowruz. So yeah, that's about the buskashi, this traditional sport. Next slide, please. All right, this is the fun part. This is Afghan national dance, number one, Atan, and this is me. I recorded this. The guy in green, as you can see, he is the groom himself. It was his wedding, and he is dancing. Please play the video. It was just short part of it, but later on it get fast, and it's a nice one. It's really nice. Second, please, another slide. We have Karsak. Before we go to the next slide, this one is Karsak, and it's played by the North Afghanistan. And this one, they have done some creativity. I took it from YouTube. You can watch a full video from YouTube. It's long, like 5 minutes. But the actual one is, you will see in next slide, please. That's the actual one, Karsak. All right, this one. So yeah, that's the one Karsak. There are many different types of dance, but I just put the famous one. Next slide, please. This one is called the next slide. This one is Chopazi, which means dance with stakes. It's really nice. They do different things, but I just put a very short part of it. Please play it. So when it comes to wedding, Afghans are really famous on that, because I had my American colleagues back then. They would love to go to Afghani weddings, because it's really nice the way that they celebrate it. All the money that they have during their time, they would spend it in their wedding. And as you can see here, so it's really nice, and the way that they celebrate it. And unfortunately, I have missed so many weddings, my brother, my sister wedding, my cousin's wedding. And yeah, it's really, it's kind of sad, but next slide, please. Okay, now we are in here about the historical places. Afghanistan has a lot of historical places because when it comes to history, we have like more than 5,000 years of the history. And just like brother mentioned about Turkey's location, same goes with Afghanistan. All this conflict that has been and it's going on is just because of the location of Afghanistan. It's, as I showed in the map, it's in the heart of Asia. They also call it our heart of Asia. So it connects Asia with Europe and also with Russia on the other side. So South Asia, that's why it's a very, the location is really, really, hello, am I audible? Okay. So historical places, there is many, but I start first with the Minaret of Jam is a UNESCO World Heritage Site in Western Afghanistan, and it's built in 12th century. It's really amazing when, like, a mystery. When you see it from the near, you would keep thinking, like, how did they build it? And the second one is the Buddhas of Bamiyan. This one is very, very old and goes back to 6th century. And it's so huge. As you can see, the humans there are so small. And when you look at it in close, when you're there, usually visitors go there. When you see it, you just don't understand how they did it. And another mystery about this is that it started in 544 AD, but it took 3 generations to complete it. So the one who started, he did not see it completed because his son did it, and then his grandchild. So it took like 3 generations to just complete it, and it's in central part of Afghanistan called Bamiyan. That's and people before from still there are a lot of visitors go there. It's a beautiful province, and it's usually cold. This is one of the province that only has like 2 months of spring. The rest of it just it goes minus to 20. And visitors from China goes there. Before they were from China, they were going to worship the Buddha. Next, please, next slide. This is the Alexander the Great Palace, also called the city of Herat. It's in Herat province. From this province to Iran is only 1 hour by land driving. And that picture, even you see, it's me in the left, and it's really beautiful, and it's so big, the Alexander the Great. And the palace is inside also got a museum. It's really beautiful, and it back to 330 BC. Next slide, please. This one is not really old, but the reason I put this is, as you can see, it's called the Darlaman Palace because it was built for the king. And during the Civil War, that's what happened to it. And then they renovated in 2019, the same structure, just renovated. As you can see, that's the new pictures of it. That's how it turned now. Next slide, please. One of the places that you must visit in Afghanistan, there are many beautiful places, a lot, but one of it I recommend is Bamiyan and the Band Amir, which is a lake, and it's a lake in Bamiyan province. And it's one of the mysteries of the world because they have tried, people came from West, geographists, they tried to measure the depth of it, how deep is this lake, but they failed. They still don't know how deep is this lake. That's why, and the water is so pure and blue, beautiful color. And they have built a park there, beautiful park with beautiful hotels. So usually visitors go to this this province. Next slide, please. Another place is Blue Mosque. It's in the the Blue Mosque is in the north of Afghanistan. It's called Balkh, and it's so beautiful as you can see in the picture. It's same as the Kazakhstan other parts of the world. Like they have built the same structure, the same design. It's really beautiful. So this is another place that you must visit. Next slide, please. And this is the Herat Blue Mosque, which is in the same place, the Alexander Great, in the same province. And it's also really beautiful. You must visit it as well. Next slide, please. And there are a lot of poem writers and famous writers from Afghanistan, but the reason I put Jalaluddin Muhammad Rumi is because Iran says that he belongs to us, Turkey says he belongs to us. But what I think personally, in fact, he was born in Afghanistan, in Balkh, but at that time there was no border. So it was just called Khorasan, and it was a big land, and there were no borders, so they could move. So when they say he belonged to us, Iran say he belonged to us, or Turkey say that he belongs to us, it's not wrong, because he was, at that time there was no border, so he could move anywhere. But if we ask where he was born in Balkh. Balkh is a province in Afghanistan, North Afghanistan. So yeah, and his great poems been translated into different languages, and I'm sure you all know who is he. All right, next. I think just to talk about the current situation in Afghanistan. The current situation in Afghanistan is something that you all need to know. There is no war. First of all, no war. But as you might know, the former government failed and the new government created it. And the former government was really corrupted. Our president was the reason the chaos happened, you might see it, because he took all the money and he ran away. And that's the reason he could do it peacefully, but one thing he couldn't do is that he couldn't take the money, so he would do it peacefully. So that's why he made a chaos and went away. Anyways, now the situation is under control. Everything is fine. It's very peaceful. Everything is good. But the only problem is that our resources is banned by international communities. That's why I hope Malaysia also raise their voice in United Nations, and I need you people to raise their voice about Afghanistan. They have banned it because they are not recognizing their current government, but who suffer is the Afghan people. They have banned our resources. The World Bank, international communities, they don't recognize. And because of that, our people are suffering from unemployment, economy, and meanwhile, climate crisis. It's getting drier there, and in North Afghanistan, very heavy snowing, and people losing their life, and they moving from place to other place. So that's one thing that right now happening in Afghanistan is the unemployment, and it's because of economic crisis happening because of our resources banned. It's not recognized by the current government, but our people are suffering. So I hope Malaysia also and United Nations, you people, all of you, I hope you raise your voice about Afghanistan, that they have to release the resources of our country so that people would not suffer more. There is no war, but it's just economy now. So there is nothing, it's really peaceful. Thank you very much. I think that's all from me. And thanks for having me, and thanks for giving the opportunity to be part of this and to show good side of Afghanistan, the good things about our country, because usually media itself is about politics usually, and they don't show the good side, especially when Afghanistan was founded with NATO for over 20 years. So, but there are so many good things, so many that I can't cover all of it. And I hope you enjoyed from this presentation, and I hope you have got a beautiful side of Afghanistan, about the people, how lovely our people are, how hospitable and how kind our people are. They will always smile to you. And when you visit them, the moment they realize that you are an outsider, they will take you to their house. And the least you could do is to give you tea. So that's all from me. And you may ask your questions if there is any question.
All right, thank you so much, Mustafa, for the wonderful sharing. I think what we all can agree is, like, one, the food looks delicious and I'm hungry right now, especially the jalebi. And then the second one, the locations that you've just shown us is very, very, very beautiful, until Inam says that you reminded me all as if you took me to my home. And like, that is the purpose of us doing this program. It's like we're taking you touring Turkey and Afghanistan without needing to, you know, go on a flight. But of course, the best experience can be retrieved if you're there physically. Now it's time for the Q&A session. The first question question is the most important question of all, Mustafa. In which cafe in IIUM do they serve Afghan food? If you have encountered any, so that we can at least have the best experience, or like just a bit of pinch of experience of Afghanistan themselves. Is there any international cafes in IIUM that serve foods from Afghanistan? As far as you're concerned?
I believe there was one in Uthman, but I think it's not active right now. But to be honest with you all, I have tried, not just in UAE, outside as well. It does not taste same as what is in Afghanistan. So you definitely need to visit Afghanistan, then try the foods there. They would offer you for free. You don't even have to like pay anything. They would offer you foods for free. That's the moment they realize that you're outsider, they would not let you to pay for anything. And they would welcome you to their house. They would insist you to stay, and they would, if you go out with them, unlike West, like you go out and you will pay your own bill, but Afghans, even if you go out with them shopping, anything, they would not let you to pay. So that's one thing.
All right, so I guess I have to come over to your place, or like I have to go out with you next time so that I don't have to pay anyway. All right, so let's see if you have any other questions for Mustafa. Then just please drop your questions in the chat box in the meantime. Okay, so okay, we have a new question. Do we have a new question over here? Let's see. Okay. No, that's why Uthman is closed. Yes, that's why Uthman is closed. All right, so Dr. Mia says, thank you for sharing with much heart, Mustafa, about Afghanistan. Much appreciated. So, there's a question from Ines. Does the blue mosque glow at night? From the locations that you shared earlier, do they glow at night?
What do you mean, the color?
The color.
Yes, as you could see, they would have a lot of lights. So it's really blue. This people that their favorite color is blue, they must visit that place because it's really beautiful. The art that they have done, although it's from so many years ago, but it's so beautiful. So they should definitely visit it.
Okay, so I can already imagine how beautiful it looks like at night. Well, I guess nobody else has questions for Mustafa, so I assume that everyone is already enlightened about Afghanistan, its culture, as well as its main issue. So without further ado, we've heard both from Hakkı and Mustafa on their cultures. Now it's time to test on how much you've been paying attention and you've been following the sharing, which I think everyone actually did, because considering how they're very engaging in the chat box. So now we are going to give you the link to the Kahoot session in the chat box, which is kahoot.it. You can join from your phones and you can also join from your laptop if you may. And then you are going to put in the pin number to the quiz. Okay, our prep tech team is preparing this slide as we speak. Okay, so the game pin is 8345594. All you have to do is just to go to www.kahoot.it or click the link in the chat box given and then insert the game pin 8345594. Yes, Kahoot. Yes, it's a Kahoot session because we will be testing on how much you've been paying attention throughout the whole session. And the top 3 winners, if I'm not mistaken, or the top winner will get a special prize from the organizing team. Okay, so we have 2 participants so far. Anyone else? Come on, come up. Probably Dr. Mia. If you want to join as well, then you can join. Okay, we have 6 participants. All right. Me. Now, who is me over here? Okay. We're gonna give it 1 minute. We will begin at 10:30 p.m. sharp. We have 50 participants in here, so I guess we can at least have like half of you joining our session tonight. Yes, we have gifts and presents for those who top the game. So the more the merrier, the more the tighter, and I mean the more competitive it shall be. Okay, so let's go. All right, 21 participants so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 23, 25. Okay, do we have any more? Let's go. All right, we still have a few seconds remaining. Shasha Jom join sekali. Oh, never mind. Never mind. I am just going to moderate this whole session. Never mind. Okay. All right, few more seconds before we close the participation. All right, 29. Can we get one more participant? 30. Okay, okay. Are we going to target until 35? Or are we going to stick to 30? Okay, we have 31. We have 4 more, at least 4 more. Oh, 5 more participants, everyone. 5 more. Okay, 32. Okay. Come on, let's get the numbers to at least 35. Okay, we have 33. Okay, 2 more people. 2 more. Let's go. Are we just going to go now? Okay, 33 going once, 33 going twice. All right, we will close at 33 participant prep tech team. Let's go. Okay, we have 34. Okay, one more. Okay, all right. So let's begin now because it's already 10:30 and we're going to stick to our tentative. With 34 participants trying to grab the main prize, we'll first go to the first question of the night. How many seasons are there in Turkey? Pretty simple question. Come on, guys. Yeah, pretty simple. Okay, remember we have 34 participants earlier. Okay, and so far we have 27, 28, 30, 31, 32 answers. And the answer is 4 seasons. Okay, majority of you got it correct. And the one who tops the chart for now is Si Chomel. That's cute. Yes, we only have 4 seasons in Turkey. Okay, so Si Chomel tops the chart as for now with very like a close competition with and One Piece and Mimi. Okay, next question, please, prep tech. Second question, the people of Afghanistan are called as This is pretty simple. It's pretty simple, but still confusing. So make sure you select the correct answer. It's pretty simple. It's not confusing, but it is confusing. Let's go. In 3, 2, 1. The answer is Afghans. Yes, it's not Afghanis, but the Afghans. All right. Pashtuns and Hazaras. I think you got it. I was confused with the sharing earlier. And One Piece leads the chart, stealing the place from Si Chomel earlier with very close competition with Jenny Sari. All right. Okay. I see that the competition is heating up slightly. Okay, Si Chomel, you might have to do better next time if you want to remain in the first place. Next question, please, Prep Tech. Okay, the third question, what is the population of Turkey? If you pay close attention, Hakkı earlier did mention the population estimated in Turkey. Okay, let's see the answer. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and the answer is 85 million. Okay, I can see that almost like a quarter of you guys paid attention throughout the sharing, which is fine. Okay, so who tops the chart? All right, Janisari just literally pushed One Piece aside and is now topping the chart with very quite a difference from Mila, and Anas is trying to steal and climb the ladder. Okay, I see where this is going. This is very interesting indeed. Yes, Patricia. Okay, let's go to the next question. The competition gets tough. The tough gets competition. What is Afghanistan's national game? This one's pretty obvious. The answer is pretty obvious over there, guys. Please, it's pretty obvious over there. You don't even need to think of the answer because the answer is already there. Because the answer, ladies and gentlemen, is goat grabbing, Buskashi. Who answered cricket and weightlifting earlier? I think it's the committees sengaja want to answer wrong answers, Okay, so who leads the chart? Is Janisari able to? Okay, Janisari is able to maintain the seat, the spot. Anas is still stuck at 4th place, and One Piece is trying to regain the throne. Okay, Man is also Oh, Man is also climbing the ladder. All right, all right. That's already the fourth question. One strikes again. Will he be able to steal the first place by Janissary? Let's see the fifth question, Prep Tech team. And the fifth question, ladies and gentlemen, what is Anadolu or Anatolia? This one is also quite tricky. If you paid attention, you would know the answer. Okay, so is it the EU side of Turkey or the Asia part of Turkey? PrepTech is trying to trick you into answering probably the wrong answer. Istanbul, or is it the north side of Turkey over here? Let's see. Many of them hesitate to answer because the answer is the Asia part of Turkey. The PrepTech is giving you the right answer, but then you just decided to say nope. He's trying to just manipulate me, but no, the answer is Anatolia. Anadolu is the Asia part of Turkey. So does Janissary answer it correctly? Let's see. All right, Janissary is a potential winner, but Anas Hayyan says, no, I'm going to win this. Let's see if it's going to be a very close competition between Anas and Janissary over here, because we are now down to the final question, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's see the final question. Anas mengganas, iya betul semestinya. Let's see the final question. Which one of these are the Afghans or is the Afghans national dance? The Dabke, Chobbazi, Halai, or Zapin? Okay, this is pretty obvious as well. It's definitely pretty obvious. PrepTech is trying to trick everyone or is trying to help everyone. I have no idea, but this is literally what was mentioned in the chat box. Oh no, please don't cheat, because the answer is Chobbazi. All right. Siapa yang menjawab Zapin tu? Astaghfirullahalazim. But the answer is Chobbazi, everyone. Dabka is not the Afghans' national dance. So let's see the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, our cultural dialogue Kahoot session. Okay, the third place goes to One Piece. Second place goes to Anas. And the first place is, Janissary. Congratulations. All right, there's a pretty fair difference between Anas and Janissary. Okay, not bad, everyone. Not bad. All right, so again, this is the podium one. You were able to top the chart last time, but then apparently you lost it to Janissary. Okay, so to Janissary, you can direct message PrepTech Asma later on to get your prize. All right, but in the meantime, congratulations to Janissary and to everyone else for joining our session. It really shows that you guys are engaging with us throughout the whole session from 9 p.m. until 10:37 at this point. So yes, congratulations to everyone and all of you, because now, brothers and sisters, we've come to the end of our first cultural dialogue series. Can you believe that? We've actually reached the end. We've now just landed in the Kuala Lumpur International Airport after we've taken you flying through Turkey and then Afghanistan. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to all Malaysians, welcome home. It is a great honor to be a host for tonight. We hope that you gain a lot of new information and knowledge on the culture of Turkey and Afghanistan, as well as their current issues. To both our speakers, Hakkı and Mustafa, thank you so much for the insightful sharing, and it's a pleasure to have both of you with us tonight. And it's a reminder for all IUM students to make sure to fill in your attendance form for star points. The link to the form has been shared in the chat box. Once again, committees, please share the chat box. Please share the link towards the attendance form. So before we end our session, please join us to come and take a picture. If you're comfortable, please keep your camera switched on and smile. All right, let's see. Okay, so now let's turn on our cameras. Yes, turn on our cameras, everyone, and PrepTech or anyone will take our photo, feeling like I'm inside the plane, mashallah. Oh, that's not the fun part of it. Not just yet. I mean, if you want to be on a plane like that, I can take that request. Okay, so has everyone turned on their cameras?
10 more seconds.
Okay, 10 more seconds. Okay, 10 more seconds. Okay, sure. Okay, so all right, it's 10:30. We actually ended like at the right time, guys. Wow, congratulations. Okay, so are we ready? Okay, everyone smile. 1, 2, 3.
Good one.
All right, one more. 1, 2, 3. Last one. 1, 2, 3.
Good.
All right, that's it. That marks the end. We've landed at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport. It is a safety announcement. Okay, tak ada apa-apa lah. All right, thank you everyone for joining. Stay safe. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye.
Thank you, Shasha. And thank you everyone for
Bye.
joining.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you. Good night.
Right.